And about having a good team.
Good team, good energy,
Safe
good vibes,
space,
safe space.
Yeah.
Without setting any expectations, we just go to the studio and see what we come up with. That's how it usually, very seamless. What's up, fam? I'm Young Raja. I'm sitting here with the man himself, Mr. Flight School. This is Levi's music project, Industry 101. Let's go. There's many different perspectives. You know, we all started off in the indie route, right?
Yeah.
We had an indie label a couple of years back called MO3 Records. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's all about infrastructure and the kind of support you're getting, right? I see labels as like a support system. They have the right team, they got the right people to enable an artist to take things to greater heights, I guess. So for the last 4 years, the transition from going from an indie label to a major label has been like one of the biggest turning points. Because an artist like me that raps in Tamil and English with a backing of Universal, Def Jam Southeast Asia, it's like, you know, it makes a difference.
But then there are also artists out there who can create amazing products out of nothing, like with
Just a
zero,
laptop.
with no money at all, and they become successful. So like, we are witnessing more and more artists come out and just change the rules, right?
Yeah.
The rules have constantly evolving, I guess.
4 or 5 years ago, when Faris and I did more better posting on Twitter, like people were recognizing us as rappers when we hadn't even put out a song yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the game is like constantly changing, and it's really a matter of what works for the artist, I guess, you know?
So do I use social media, or like do A&Rs generally use social media to look up for talents? Yeah, obviously. I mean, look, like TikTok is like a major discovery tool, man. Now you gotta look for people who are like constantly like bending the rules of say music. I had that mantra fed in me since I was like 16 years old when I met David. So David was the first one who told me, like, if the chorus don't kick in within 45 seconds, right?
You've lost.
I'm out. You gotta capture people from the start lah. But also, you know what? It depends on the kind of music you want to make also. Being in Singapore also, like, it's not exactly like the most like it's not encouraged, right, with among kids to become musicians or whatever. So you don't have new musicians popping up all the time. You know what I mean?
But although it's changing now.
Yeah, it's changing.
When you first started like 12 years ago,
it's like every 3 years, one new artist. Like, oh wow, okay, join the crew. But now, since like when we started MO3, and then everybody started seeing that, oh my goodness, you can become an artist. Now we're seeing a whole bunch of people on Twitter, on Instagram. But I want like a lot more indie labels to be forming up in Singapore. And I want there to be like good, healthy competition.
Before I met Zeke, there was no game plan or like understanding of how to approach this. It was just, let me do music. I want to make songs. There was no plan. There was no strategy. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like it's mad business or what, but it's like, you know, just like any other thing, you got to have an understanding of how to move about it, right? That was one of the biggest things that I learned. It's like, how do we make the best use of our time and not waste it, right? Because, you know, we were not putting out albums. We were an indie label. We didn't have the funds to put out 10, 20 songs and shoot 20, 30 music videos. Yeah. We had the funds to shoot one video and make one song. But, you know, we made the best out of every release that we've had. And it's a very strategic, thoughtful approach. I guess, you know, you've been in the industry for so long, right? Like, you've been doing this for so long. I guess your understanding of the industry or like the game that we're in was like one of the biggest game changers for all of us, because we were lacking that. Faris and I were kids, like 19, 20 years old. We didn't know anything about this world that we're a part of, right?
I mean, things are changing also lah. So like, I gotta, because things are changing so fast. Things that used to be relevant isn't anymore. knowledge that used to be relevant isn't relevant anymore. So like you gotta keep like on your toes lah, right? Because like tomorrow
something new will come out or something could change.
yeah
completely.